Hello, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Are You Free for Coffee podcast. We are currently on a break to snuggle Natasha's beautiful new baby, and we will return with new episodes starting season 3, October 26, 2022. For now, enjoy some of our favorites from previous seasons. Until next time.
Hello guys, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Natasha.
And we were wondering,
Are you free for coffee?
welcome.
Hello, guys.
Listen, guys, do you have a favorite rom-com?
Everyone does.
I love rom-coms. That's my jam. I
love them too.
really love rom-coms. And there's nothing better than a good one.
I used to love horror movies. And I don't know why or what. And it's not even about fear. It's just maybe it's like the feel goodness of rom-coms. They have become my thing. Like, I love them. The whole like Hallmark movies in July. I'm like, I'm here for this.
And now I'm gonna be honest. Hallmark movies don't do it for me.
I like
Sometimes I'll have them on my dad loves them, y'all.
Really?
Loves Hallmark. Like, he will have it on just all day
That's
watching
hilarious.
it. But they're just a little too sweet. I need a little edge or just a little something, some conflict, which they're not. But they have their place.
You need some plot. Those are just the feel goods. I don't have to think about anything.
Yeah, while you're baking cookies.
Yes.
And you put them on, and
yes.
that we love.
And considering I own a bakery,
they have their place. But I do love rom-coms. And let's see, my favorites. I love The Holiday.
The Holiday?
No, The Holiday.
Oh, The Holiday.
With Kate Winslet.
Yes.
That's like my fave.
Okay.
Really, her house. I think I love it because her house is the cutest stinking thing, isn't it?
So let me tell you, that is the rom-com that run me over. It's funny you should say that. Before that, like I said, like horror movies, action, sci-fi. I was like, ugh, rom-com, no thanks. I don't want to watch a chick flick. And I was actually going through my divorce when I watched it, and I just fell in love. Like, I loved
it's got all the feels.
It had everything in it, and you could identify and kind of like identify with it and live vicariously.
Yes.
And I was like, this isn't this bad. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it isn't. And so that's one I love. It's not my favorite, but I do love
that's one of my favorite. Well, let's see. And I love You've Got Mail, which surprisingly holds up really well. It's probably 20 years old.
It is.
And Pretty Woman, which holds up pretty well, even though it looks a little...
Is Pretty Woman a rom-com? I guess it is.
I think so.
Yeah,
it is. But, some of it's dated, but it's still... The plot holds up.
Yes.
The plot holds up.
So mine is a newer one. So mine came out in 2020.
Oh.
And we did not get to watch it for the holidays, but because I like rom-coms, I was like... It was one date night. I was like, do you want to watch that? My husband's like, oh, yeah. And it's on Hulu. It's called Happiest Season. So it's everything you want. There's the crazy aunt who like brings a new man every holiday, who's just, free-spirited.
Who else is in it?
I need to,
familiar.
You've probably seen it before. I need to look up the cast because I'm horrible. Okay. Kristen Stewart, Dan Levy, which
I saw it.
You saw, yeah, which
I saw that.
Dan Levy is my husband.
When you said Kristen Stewart,
yes,
that is cute.
But
super cute.
Yes, and he was the best friend.
Yes.
I loved it.
Cute.
It had every element. It had, I'm afraid to tell my parents, but turns out they're supportive. And the aunt was hilarious to me. Like, she brought the whole batter Santa to this whole film. I loved it.
Yeah,
we really liked it. So that's one of my newer faves. I think maybe my I feel sad I can always go to is 50 First Dates. But I love Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
And I love Drew Barrymore. So it was a perfect.
They're so cute together.
I wanted them to be together in real life.
Cute,
I know they're
cute.
not, but anyway, so that's, 50 First Dates is my forever one. But my newest one that I really liked was Happiest Season.
Yeah, that is super cute.
Have you seen Crazy Rich Asians?
Yes.
Which is, in my opinion, it's a rom-com, isn't it?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
My husband loves all caps, bold, and italics. He loves
shouty caps.
He loves Crazy Rich Asians.
That it's very cute.
It was really cute,
super cute, and
he's
Henry
not
Golding
anti.
is a looker.
Yes, he's not anti rom-com.
Cute.
But I mean, this is every date night. He's like, "You want to watch Crazy Rich Asians?" I was like, "No."
I have some like that where you just, he's
there. It
Hello,
is.
clock.
I don't even think we should fix it at this point.
No, it is what it is.
It's a part of our.
Well, at this age, I love Something's Gotta Give because that's age appropriate for me. With Diane Keaton.
Oh, yes.
And, Jack Nicholson.
Is that a rom-com?
It is.
I guess it is.
With Keanu Reeves.
Yes.
Who was one of our sexiest men alive. One of our boyfriends.
One of our boyfriends.
Past week.
He's an ex-boyfriend.
We've broken up now. But yeah. But that's a good one because it's age appropriate for me. I can relate. But I love Her House too. Y'all. I mean, if I'm dating you, your house has to be right.
That's fair. You know what? That's fair. That's fair.
My environment is so important to me.
So now, I'm just throwing out another, now we have like 50, but another good one that was on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Always Be My Maybe.
Be my maybe. Yes, I did.
Or Always Be Your Maybe. Yes, I don't know if it's my maybe or your maybe.
I did. That one was a slow burn for me.
It was.
It took me a minute.
Because we're all like, come on now, get in it.
Yeah.
But I love Ali Wong.
Cute,
she's hilarious.
Yeah.
And
it was cute.
Her stand-up when she was pregnant was just the most relatable thing I've ever heard in my life. So, and I love him.
It was very realistic to me.
It was so, and that's why I burned slow. Yeah, that's why I burned so slow, because it was realistic.
But they're so relatable.
Yes.
Some of them you watch them.
It's almost so whimsical. That ain't gonna happen.
And then everybody, it's
but
like,
that
who
one,
are these people?
That one could happen.
Yeah.
And, they went to high school together, blah, blah, blah. They used to be friends and, everything that happened, whatever. Watch it. It's on Netflix. But my husband and I went to high school together, and our reunion was like just this really unlikely thing. So I think I could relate to where like that seemed very real to me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I could totally see how this would happen. So that one I really liked.
Oh, the other day I watched No Strings Attached.
Okay.
Which is Ashton Kutcher. Okay, he's got to be my boyfriend. He's so cute. Young enough to be my son. See, y'all, I can't do it. When they're real young like that,
young.
I don't even think of them that way. But he is so dang cute.
He was married to Demi Moore.
Yeah, but that didn't. You see how that ended? But he and Natalie Portman were so cute together, and the story is adorable. And he is just like, his character.
Yeah,
is so adorable. So that was. It's been out a minute, but it was on something, and I watched it, and it was so cute.
Yeah, I did like that.
So, is there a book or a piece of literature that you found to be life-changing, other than the Bible, or whatever your other religious book is?
Okay, so this is just a book. I do have one. What's yours? I'm going to look up my author.
Mine is Simple Abundance, which has been out. Let's see. It was published in 1995, so it's as old as Kennedy.
Okay.
But it's by Sarah Bond Bronick, is how you pronounce her name. And it's kind of like a devotional if you're not familiar with it. So, every day it's dated.
Okay.
And every day you read the little thing. But she was the one that really, I think, started the whole gratitude thing. You remember when people started journaling about, 5 things you're grateful for?
But she was doing this before it was cool. You're talking about 1990 something.
Yeah, but that's what that book started that.
Awesome. Okay.
But it's so you guys have to, if you're not familiar with it, I would urge you to read it. I mean, it's a daily thing, so it's not like you can get it and just read through the whole thing. It's kind of a day by day thing, and each month has a theme. And there's a new version, which I do not have, but I want to get. So I guess a new and improved version. But it's just, it's kind of the gratitude thing, and then the whole thing of simple abundance is all you have is all you need. So, and especially in Western cultures, we get so wrapped up in
And
the
more,
next thing
and
and
more,
more.
yes.
And it's that is an insatiable
Yes,
monster.
that's right.
Like if you get that going, you just can't ever get off that treadmill.
Yeah.
Like my son calls it the golden shackles.
Ooh,
like it's
that's good.
Yeah,
because there will never be enough. There's always going to be something
always
new.
more, and we're always growing, and you always you do want to be growing,
right?
And sometimes that does translate to more, but you have to kind of keep it in check.
You do,
and that's what this book
and the gratitude,
does.
yeah,
and being grateful,
and it
being
matters
present,
in your life,
being present, and,
yes,
and grateful for what you have right
that's
now.
That's a good read,
it's
Lisa.
So good, y'all.
I'm going to be sure we'll add that today on our Instagram. If you go up and you click the link in our bio, a lot of the stuff we're talking about, that's where you're going to find it. Yeah. And so,
and the new and improved, I'm going to check that new and improved out. And when I do, I'll report back to you.
Okay, good.
But I'm sure you could get it, the older one.
Probably at half price books, or
for probably a little nothing. But it's so good. I would encourage you, and especially if you have littles, because she was kind of in that season. She had a young daughter at home, and
so she was working to stay present. To be grateful.
It was so relatable to me
in that season.
And even now, because I picked it up. I used to read it like every year, and I kind of got out of the habit. But this year I picked it up again with the pandemic. I think I started last year with it, and it was relatable again. It's just like whatever season you're in, there's something you can glean from it.
I had someone tell me once that the best books are the ones that you can pick up no matter what season you're in, and it's still relatable.
Yes, and it is.
Yeah,
this one is. So it is for women. It is a woman, and she is addressing women.
Okay,
but
gratitude is gender neutral.
It is.
So that part would.
But a lot of the topics and subject matter, she is really talking to women. But I would urge you.
Okay, I would. So mine is also a female author. And she is also speaking to women. And when I get into the topic, you'll understand more so why. But a lot of men have read this book, and it worked for them too. And my husband started reading it. So it's not women specific, although it sounds like it. And it is Barbara Stanny is the author. And the name of the book is Secrets of Six-Figure Women. Okay. And while this book sounds like a self-help money to do, it is not.
Oh,
it is, but it isn't. It really isn't. This book peels back the layers on why you value yourself at the level in which you do. That was my takeaway from it. I can see
how that could be helpful.
Yes, that was my takeaway from it. My takeaway from it was, do you value yourself? And why do you devalue yourself in certain situations? And so it really was more so a puff your chest out, shoulders back, now walk. It was very much so that. And
but women have a problem with that.
Yes, they do.
So I could see. I mean, I know there's some men that do.
There are
some, but for the most part,
it's women.
That's a
and so
issue.
This book goes through women who were homemakers, women who were homeless, women who were school teachers, who have all become six-figure earners or more, and they talk about what changed in their life, what made them change, how did you do this? And so, my husband and I, we're entrepreneurs, and there's always going to be someone that does what you do. I don't care what you do. I don't care.
Nothing's new under the sun.
Nothing's new under the sun. Yeah. I don't care how good you are. And in our field, because we do desserts primarily, we have 4 businesses, but that's our big thing is our bakery. There's always going to be someone who says, "Oh, I'll do that cake for cheaper." And it's like, I really had to learn to deal with it. It was very difficult for me. I always wanted to go lower and lower and lower and lower. And then you're paying someone to take a cake. You've put in these hours and you've built stuff and you're literally paying them to take a cake. Mm-hmm. And then we started to notice this correlation between bad reviews and people who haggle or don't want to pay you. And so it's all a learning lesson. And we've been in business 8 or 9 years this August. So it's been a great run, and we've learned a lot. And this book, the person that recommended it, I was like, I don't work in corporate. Like, what's that going to do? And they're like, no, trust me. It's more about yourself. And so the title, it's true. It is The Secrets of Six-Figure Women. That's what it's about. But the title kind of sounds like a get money, self-help, and that's not what it is. But it was life-changing. It made me, I check myself every time I think, oh, well, maybe there's a little voice that's like, why?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that?
You're worth it.
Yes, you're worthy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot about gratitude. So our books actually kind of have a little overlap, because there's a lot about gratitude and how changing your perspective changes your output.
And those stories about women, because like I said, each month is a different topic, and there's, each day, but she does have stories about women. Just the research had to be incredible, because she just goes all over, but it's so encouraging. Yes. And you hear about women and what happened to them and how they coped with this and
overcame
this. And it's just, it's really incredible.
I would love something where it's daily. I get in my little read. Obviously she had her clients in mind. These are mothers. I can't sit down and read chapter after chapter. Let me get this in, and then I'm uplifted and I go. So
it's great.
But that would be mine that I felt like was life-changing.
They really do. When you find something like that, it just lands at the right place, at the right time. And it's just something you needed. And it really does change you. That whole gratitude thing, it does get you off that hamster wheel.
Yeah, I could see that.
And you just just let me be grateful. I have healthy children. I have my health. All the things that you just kind of pass over.
You look at them as mundane.
Right.
Or as given.
As you're in your quest for seeking material things. So it's very pertinent.
That's good.
To everybody.
I think I'm probably going to read the new one too. I'll go ahead and order it as well. That way we can kind of check in and say how we feel about it.
Okay, guys. We want to talk a little bit about cancel culture. And the question we're asking you is, can we hold people accountable but still allow them the grace and space to grow?
Can you?
I believe you can.
Yes,
now,
I agree.
I don't think at my age, often. I'm 62, so I have lived a minute. And you learn some things then in those years. And we all make mistakes.
Yes.
And do stupid stuff. And hopefully you do it when you're younger and outgrow it, but sometimes not.
Sometimes we don't, though.
Sometimes not. But I do know this. When you make a mistake or do something, you can't take it back. I mean, It is what it is. It's out and you did it. If you are truly repentant and you apologize and you make it right to the people or person that you offended.
That you hurt, yeah.
That's all you can do.
That's right.
That is all you can do. You can't, there's not a rewind button. God knows I would be hitting it,
all the time. Yeah.
There's just nothing else you can do. So my thing is, I do think they should be held accountable. And, and for me, holding someone accountable is calling them out.
Right.
Which is what we as a society have been doing. Somebody says a racial slur, they act inappropriately, whatever that is. You call them out. And once they've apologized, I mean, that's really all that can happen.
Yeah.
Now where you go from that is, let's see how they act now, if we can determine it was sincere.
Yes.
Now that's something that I think you kind of have to gauge.
If they keep doing the same thing again,
you just like, I'm sorry, and it doesn't mean anything.
You haven't changed.
So, that needs to be kept an eye out. But I am advocating just showing people grace. Because gosh, we've all been there.
Yeah.
And I feel so badly for people once they've done it. I feel bad that they did it.
Yeah.
I do. And especially racial things as African American women, I mean, that affects us.
Yes, often.
That's hurtful.
Oftentimes.
But sometimes in the situation, like Paula Deen, when that came out, she had said some racial things and whatever. Given her age,
right,
and where she grew up, I was like, so you're shocked?
I didn't understand why people were shocked.
Like, really? I would be shocked if she didn't.
Right.
Seriously,
right.
I would have been shocked if she didn't.
Yes. That
wasn't right. No. Now, see, my thing too is people need to own it. Just own it. Like Brett Kavanaugh, when he was when they were doing the hearings for him for Supreme Court justice, and he was accused of rolling up on a classmate. She was not accused of rape. He was accused of just, I guess you would call it assault, like grabbing her and just inappropriate behavior. Now they were teenagers, I believe.
When it happened.
Okay. Now he alleges that it did not happen, but then the victim alleges that it did.
Right.
My thing is, they were 17. Now they are in my age group. Back then,
it happened.
That's what happened. Yes. Okay, I'm just going to be straight up. That is what happened. And
when you went to tell, no one cared.
We didn't have Mothers Against Drunk Driving, so we'd have a keg and people get drunk, and that would happen. Now, if he had come out and said, "Listen, I was 17. I got drunk and I put my hands where they had no business being.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. I'm not that person." Because I'm sure he's not. Who is? You're not the same person you were when you were 17.
Right.
I'm not the same person I was at 17. I could have dealt with that. Yeah. I would have been like, okay.
A lot of times,
I think the victim could have dealt with that.
It's the cover up. It's the lies.
It is like, I didn't, and how dare you?
And now you're making this person out to be a liar.
And he got so belligerent too with it. So that's my thing when stuff like that comes out. I think people just need to freaking own it. Yeah, just own it. I did it. I'm so sorry, and this is what was going on then. I am not that person. A lot has happened to me since then, and I personally can live with that.
Right.
I'm much more.
I know that everyone cannot.
I can show you grace in that.
Because what none of us have is this magic mirror or time machine or a DeLorean where we can go back in time.
Right.
So if you own it, that's one huge thing. That's a level of honesty. That's a level of maturity, of growth.
And it's relatable.
It is.
It's relatable because none of us, if you're past 16, you're not 16 anymore. Yes. And you are way different.
Yes.
And you have life experiences. You've done something. You're just young and dumb.
Yes.
Now just come on. You're young and dumb.
Yes.
And if you can just own that, I think we could move on more. I could.
I definitely could.
So, note to self and note to y'all, if something happens, and even, in your relationships with your kids, with your spouse, boyfriend, whatever, own it. When you mess up, just, I did it.
I think a lot of the problem now is that social media is still news, right? And when you think about journalism and news syndicates, they live on sensationalizing whatever the topic is.
True.
And so there are a lot of things that we have done that are really right on par with what we're booing on the stage. But if someone had a chance to look into your life, you may have some bigger skeletons in your closet. Right. But it's so easy to deflect and look at like, oh my gosh, look at what they're doing. It's like, no, and that's another thing. People just mind their own damn business. Yeah. But that's another topic for another episode. But really, let's be honest. That's kind of reminds me of the gratitude element in the sense of when you're focused on gratitude, you're focusing on your own stuff. Right. I'm grateful for this in my life. And it helps you mind your own damn business. Yeah. But when you're outwardly focused, which a lot of times I call it the spirit of comparison, that's very outwardly focused. And it just riles up a very negative part of all of us. And people can only do what they can do. I'm not saying you shouldn't be held accountable. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be punished depending on what it is. But then once the punishment's done, it's done. I think one of the biggest examples that I didn't agree with how it went down. So, a little backstory on me: I am an animal lover, but I am not a pet owner. And that just is my own personal choice. I'm an animal lover, so I don't eat animals.
She's got littles.
I do have littles. I have pets. I do. Very active, very destructive little cutesy pets that happen to be humans. And so my love for animals is expressed in me not wanting them slaughtered. That's my own personal thing. Everyone in my family outside of our household eats meat. I don't judge them. That's fine. But that's my thing. So when Michael Vick happened, everybody, knowing my stance, was like, what do you think about Michael Vick? It's like, I think he is a black male who was raised in an area where dogfighting happens. That's what I think. I don't think it's okay.
It's a cultural.
It is a cultural thing. And so he did what people do. When people get money, they become more of who they are. I dated a guy, he passed away to be 3 years ago next month. And we were friends to the end. And he was actually getting looked at for the NFL. He was a huge guy, 6'7", 300 plus pounds. We were college sweethearts. And I remember crying one day. I was like, I don't want you to go to the NFL because you're going to be someone different. And he was like, what do you mean? He's like, let me tell you something. Assholes become bigger assholes when they get money. He was like, but good people just have more opportunity to be good people. He's like, whatever you are, money just amplifies it. So he was like, whatever I am now, money's just going to amplify it. And I remember really sitting with that. And I was like, you're right. And so in the case of Michael Vick, when he got money, for some of y'all are not going to understand this term, but look it up. I'm sure it's on some Ebonics dictionary. He did more hood shit. That's what it was. He was a dude from the hood. So when you gave someone from the hood money, big money, when you think about his socioeconomic status prior to, he just did hood shit. That's all it was.
Yeah.
So if you used to get paid and you bought 2 scratch-offs, then when you have more money, you're going to go buy 40 scratch-offs, right? And that's just your way of life. But I felt like he was deeply remorseful. I felt like he was really sorry for what he did, and they never let him live it down. He's never lived it down. And I think it speaks to the world we live in, our society's need to like harp on stuff whenever it's something we disagree with. But if it's something that we do, we have a tendency to kind of like...
Well, do you think too? I think sometimes it's successful people, because something about that, others like to see them fall.
Yes.
You know,
yes,
they're
absolutely.
on a pedestal and you just want it's just...
It almost brings them down a notch.
Yeah.
Which isn't good, but I do think that's what it is. I think that it adds this like human element to them.
Well, I think we're agreed. I think we hold people accountable.
Yes.
But then once they do what they can do, that's all they can do.
That's all they can do.
So just show them grace.
And I think that comes with life experience too.
You know, like we both said, just keep on living.
Yes.
Because you might be in that position one day.
Yes.
And I would hope
where you want grace.
People would show you grace.
Yes, where you want grace.
Allow you to be.
You want to be forgiven. I know a current, I guess you call it current events. Chrissy Teigen, she just posted that on her Instagram, like how painful this whole process has been and how, you know, this is something from before. She's already worked on herself since then. And really just, I don't want to put words in her mouth.
So her thing was, I guess she had kind of been a mean girl.
Yeah.
Is what had happened.
Yeah.
She bullied some people. And
I'm one of them happened to be a youth.
Okay. I'm not real familiar with it, but whatever. And she's apologized and, you know, whatever happened. And girls can be really mean.
Yes.
Mean girls are really mean. They really are. So I'm sure it was hurtful, whatever she did. And, you know, like I used to tell my kids, sometimes when you're now, I'm not, this is not literal. This is circumstantial.
Okay.
When you've done something, sometimes you just need to sit in the shitty diaper. And maybe that's where she is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to feel it.
Yeah.
For the change to happen. So I'm not saying don't show her grace, but she'll get there. She'll get there. But right now, I think she's feeling the feels.
Yeah.
And you need to, because that's where empathy comes. That's where you can get out of the mean girl thing.
Yeah.
Because you've had some stuff happen to you. And once you sit in a shitty diaper, you don't want to do it anymore.
You don't ever want to return to it.
So there's a place for that. Just sit in it and just feel it for a minute.
Yeah.
And for some people, that's it. It's not that we're not showing them grace. That's part of the accountability. Like, you did it and you need to feel it.
Right.
You need to feel it. Right. So that you don't ever want to be in that position again.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So there's some learning lesson in that.
Yeah. And what is it? With greater something comes greater responsibility. And so I think that's where she is. Yes. Because she speaks out against a lot of, she's very, very blunt about her political views, about, and even about bullies. So then when someone can point out, hey, but you were a bully.
Yeah, you clean it up.
You clean
it up.
But I bet she won't do that again.
Right.
I bet you she won't. Because
we love you, Chrissy.
We're not. I'm a huge fan.
And we're showing you grace, but you're just feeling what you did.
Yeah, the implications.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing because
it won't be there forever.
You will have such a greater opportunity and
in the future.
Empathy for people, opportunity to almost like minister to people. You will know where people are,
where they're
and that's a great thing.
Yes,
that's a great thing, and that'll help you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So you're going to come out on the other side of it. We're rooting for you.
I definitely am.
But this is just part of it.
I believe in grace, and I believe
I do too.
I think that cancel culture was perhaps created to serve a purpose. I don't believe it serves the same purpose for what it was created. I think
it's a little. You get into the ditch on either side.
Yes,
on one side.
Well, now we're the mean girls.
Keep the car on the road.
Yes,
stay out of the ditches.
Yes.
On one side, we just cover up everything. Don't say anything and let people all kind of bad behavior happen. And then on the other side of the ditch, we're just you can't make a mistake. You can't. And we're not perfect. None of us are. Mistakes are gonna happen. So we are agreeing that we hold people accountable. And sometimes that means you're sitting where you are in the mess. You're sitting in the mess and you're feeling the mess. But we believe in showing you the grace for when you come out of the mess.
Yes. Yep.
That's what we're saying.
That's definitely where I am.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, okay, y'all, we're ready for boyfriend time.
Oh my gosh.
Sexiest man alive this week. Okay. In deference to our rom-com episode, I'm picking Hugh Grant. Okay. Do y'all remember him in Notting Hill? Did you ever see?
I did not watch.
You didn't see it?
No.
Okay, put that on your list.
I know.
Put on your list. It's an older one, but it's held up well.
Okay.
But he's in other stuff. He was in Sense and Sensibility and what other? He was in Bridget Jones' Diary.
He was. You're right.
But
okay.
not the good guy.
Well, yeah, but he was in it.
He was in it. But he's cute. I think he's so adorably goofy cute to me. I mean, and I say that in the best
in the
possible
sweetest
way.
Possible way.
Yes. And he was in recently an HBO show where he was, I won't give it away in case you haven't seen it. It was not a rom-com. It was very serious. And he was doing bad things.
Really?
The Undoing. Him and Nicole Kidman.
What?
He's in that. I mean, he starts off, you think but yeah.
But he's bad.
So, but that aside, usually
that's still your
pick. He
pick.
Plays those, sweet, lovable, Love Actually.
Yes. And, okay. That's a good one.
He's just so cute.
That is a good one.
So cute guy. Love him. So that's my rom-com boyfriend.
For this one.
Yeah. This week.
I'm okay. To stay in the spirit. And I love funny. We've talked about this before. I love funny guys. I'm going to go with Adam Sandler.
Oh,
because as a kid, I thought I was going to marry Adam Sandler one day. I really did. I thought I would marry Prince and Adam Sandler. And my mom's like, can't marry two people. And I'm like,
I good spread, isn't it?
It's because I would be well taken care of. I would laugh. I would be serenaded. and I was too young to know what Prince's songs really, we're talking about. Funny, funny enough, I have a burn. Now you can really faintly see it, but I had a burn on my neck from college. I was straightening my hair, right? Because that's when everyone's hair was like bone straight. And I'm listening to Prince and I'm singing in the mirror and I say the words out loud and I was like, oh, and in my gasp, I burnt myself and I was like, Mom, have you listened to the song? She's like, yes. Why? I'm like, did you know it says this? She was like, oh, yes.
Are you just now
finding
that
She was
out?
like, oh, you just listened to the words. I was like, how could you let a child? She said, you were so cute dancing to his music. And I didn't have the heart to tell you, honey, that was not what you thought it was. So yeah, that's who I thought I was going to marry. And I love funny. So I will still, Adam Sandler, he's still hilarious to me.
He's so cute.
He's so funny. So cute. His little IHOP incident recently was it just gave me the giggle. So he's going to be my pick.
Okay. I love him too.
Because he's going to keep you laughing.
Yes.
That's what matters.
And rom-com guys, they're good guys. That's good boyfriend material this week.
Yes, y'all. That's good.
So pick a rom-com guy for your this week boyfriend.
And then next week you'll have someone new.
Someone new.
Well, guys, thank you for joining us. As always, please follow us on Instagram at Are You Free for Coffee. You'll get to see our smiling faces as well as links for everything that we talk about on the show. And until next time, stay chill.
Thanks.